Hi folks, so part 2 in the Man United one. Isn't it bizarre? You have people that invest in the club and invest quite a lot of money actually in the club. So they have their money in it. And what they do is they undermine the manager. They bring in a new manager after a few. So basically, look at the way they started. They had that big talk about do they still want Ten Hag to be the manager, and they were and ahhing, do they really want to do that? And then they said, yeah, okay, we'll keep him because it's better than paying him off and then bringing in a new manager. And so they bought players for him, and then within 2 months, the team that nearly got him sacked. Okay. From the point that they took over, they were waiting for Ashcroft to be available because he was at Newcastle, and Newcastle didn't just want to let him go, so they put him on gardening leave. So Man United had to wait basically till the end of the season to get him. Then when they got him, a few months later, they sacked him. They realised he's not quite the man we thought. He's not the man we need for the job. Then, how did you not know that? And then, yes, Woodman comes in and they understand that he plays a certain way because he has with Sporting and he's been incredibly successful playing that way. So why would you go for a manager who plays a certain way? Unless you want your team to play that way. But then you get that manager and you don't bring him the players that he needs to play that way. What you tend to do is, when you sack, and this is again weird, bizarre, because Sir Jim, who's the one who invested so much of his money into the club, right? He's the head of Ineos. It's his company. He's made a ton of money in the past through business decisions. And yet for all his time at United, he's been incredibly incompetent. And then, at the start, when he first took over, he said he's going to bring in the best of the best. Okay. He brings in a man who worked at City, high up in City's management system. But obviously, a man that City no longer wanted because he didn't put up any fight whatsoever. Not at all. Now, City being the local rivals to United, if they thought that Berardo was any good, they would have put up a fight. Yet they didn't. So obviously, they didn't particularly rate him too highly. He'd done a job for them. Cool. They were happy to let him go because they realised his time was up. And they were delighted that Man United wouldn't have got him, probably. Then, when they got rid of Ashcroft, they went and got Wilcox. Wilcox had only been a director of football for 1 year at Southampton. At a club that gets relegated, comes up, gets relegated, comes up, gets relegated, comes up, gets relegated, comes up. Right? So, seriously. Yeah. That club appointed him as director of football, where clearly their directors of football before him hadn't done a very good job. So therefore they gave him his first chance. And less than a year after, Man United thought, well, he'd be the perfect person to come in. Who in their right mind would consider Wilcox to be the best of the best of directors of football? It's insane. Sir Jim, well, I called him Sir Jim won't fix it because, he won't. The evidence is there that he won't. The evidence is there that, right now, I think it's a case where the fans are going to go against him big time soon. And, he's going to start to feel incredibly uncomfortable. Yeah. he's going to start to realise just how massively he has mucked up. Because, as I say, I mean, even this point about the youth aren't training according to the system that Amorim wants his players to use, or be trained in. And Amorim has so little say, he doesn't even have say over the style of play of the reserves or the under-23s or under-21s or under-18s. How? He's expected to bring these players through into the first team and they don't even know his system. How is that at a club that basically you bring in a manager and you make it absolutely clear to the youth that you don't rate this manager, that you don't rate his system, you don't trust his system or way of playing? Because if you did, you would bring that system into the whole area of football. And with transfers, he wants Watkins, or the one that Arsenal got, the one that he had at Sporting. He wants either one of those, and both are about 26 or a bit older. He wants them because he knows that they're experienced. He knows that Man United need an experienced number 9. A player that can hold the ball up and score goals. And Wilcox, in his genius, instead he wants a 22-year-old who is potential. I mean, again, what is this whole idea? People are talking about Sesko as a kid. He's 22. He's going to be 23 quite soon. How on earth is he still a kid? How on earth at 22, nearly 23, is he potential? If he's still potential at 22, he ain't good enough. I'm sorry, he can't be. Owen at 22 was not potential. He was one of the best strikers in the world. Same as Rooney. Same with Van Nistelrooy. Same with Van Persie. Same with Henry. Same with Shearer. Ian Wright, I'm not sure how old he was when he, because I think he came into it a little bit later, but not much later. I think by 22 he was absolutely, killing it with regards to scoring. And yet now they consider a nearly 23-year-old to be potential. And that's good enough. Huh? How? Ridiculous. And, they wanted, I think Ruben probably wanted Martinez from Villa, and yet they got Lamens. Again, a very, very young goalkeeper. Which, no team run well if you're rebuilding. You don't rebuild with youth. When Fergie brought those youth players through, he first of all, he brought in strong players, leaders. What have Ineos done? They ignored all of that, doing it that way, bringing in leaders, so that when you bring in these youngsters, they got people that can help them. No. We're not going to do that. We're going to expect this manager to have the squad that got Ten Hag sacked and ridiculous. It is just, as I say, they put their money into it. That's what I don't get. Why are you so willing to undermine the manager? It's insane. They're flushing our money down the drain. It's just ridiculous. You do things in that way, you're insane. It's your money. You're making that club, football-wise, even less valuable. Insane.